Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Sri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Shri Radhe.
Jayo Yashoda Damodar Yashoda Damodar Yashoda Damodar.
Jaya Yashoda Damodar Yashoda Damodar Yashoda.
Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Vrindavan Dham.
Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan,
Jaya Giri Raj Krishna, Jaya Giri Raj Krishna, Giri Raj Krishna, Jaya Giri Raj Krishna.
Jaya Giri Raj Krishna, Giri Raj Krishna, Jaya Giri Raj Krishna, Jaya Giri Raj.
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha.
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha.
Jaya Radha Raman, Radha Raman Sri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Raman, Radha Raman Shri Radhe.
Jaya Shaligram Narayanam, Shaligram Narayana, Jai Sudarshan.
Jaya Shri Ram Narayan, Shri Ram Narayan, Jaya Sudarshan.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So Hare Krishna devotees, so we'll be starting reading the translations. If anyone would like to volunteer first, please do so.
Shall I read the first?
Sure, Prabhuji, yeah.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose sharp-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing. Is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with great speed to that supreme Sri Damodara. I offer my humble obeisance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The second one, anyone would like to? Yes, Mataji.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Anyone would like to read the next one? Text 3.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are observed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all consumptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to read the next one? Text
Yes.
4.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Brahma mein Krishna Das.
Yes,
O Lord, O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks and soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yasoda, and your lips are reddish like the bim fruits. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Fourth
Krishna.
one is not read. Fourth
Yeah.
translation is not read.
Yeah, maybe text 4. Anyone would like to read? Text 4 is.
Yes. Can I read?
Yeah, Prabhu.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of the eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 process of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of your Balagopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifested in my heart, for what is used to me of any other boon beside this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone? The next one? Text 6. Okay, maybe I'll read. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. Anyone would like to read the text 7, verse 7?
O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Kuvera and Kuvera Managriva and Nalkuvera were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
Thank you, Chiranjit Prabhu. The last one, anyone would like to take this opportunity? Today is Govardhan Puja, special mercy.
O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone, for reading it. Shri Shri Damodarashtakam ki jai, Shri Shri Satyavrata ki jai,
Jai.
Govardhan Puja Mahamahotsav ki jai,
Ki
Shri
jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. So I'll just share the screen. So as usually we read our regular classes, the way sir initiates. So before reading it, maybe we'll do the pranam mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam Bande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guran Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna
Radha Krishna
Sahagan Shri Visakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu
Sindhu
Dinabandhu
Bandhu
Jagatpate
Jagapate
Gopesha Gopika
Gopesh
Kanto
Gopika Kanta
Radha
Radha
Namaste
Namaste
Tapta Kanchana
Ramchan
Gaurangi
Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari
Vrishabhanu Sute Devi
Anusute Devi
Pranamami
Pranamami
Hariprite
Hari Priye
Vanchakalpataru Vascha Kripa
Kripa
Sindhu
Sindhu
Vaishya
Vevcha
Patita
Patitanam Pavnebhyo
Namo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desvatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So for those actually these prayers are there in Bhagavad Gita. Those who are not aware about this prayer, so it is there in Bhagavad Gita as it is in the beginning of the beginning introduction side only we can find it. So we'll chant the prayer. Tab kathamritam tapta jivanam कविभिरीतं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. Translation: the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So, this is the one of the prayer of several prayers which is sung by the gopis called Gopi Git, and it is there in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, chapter 31, and this is the text 9. So today is Govardhan Puja, and we will be singing this prayer to Giri Govardhan. We can chant together. Namaste Giri Rajaya Shri Govardhan Namine
Shri Govind Govardhana
Namine
Asesha Nashaya
Ashesha Klesha Nashaya
Paramananda Daine.
Paramananda Dayine.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the King of all hills, Govardhan Hill, the source of enjoyment for the senses, land, and cows. He is a servant of Krishna and is Krishna himself. He puts an end to unlimited suffering and bestows the supreme bliss. So this is a wonderful prayer. Namaste Gri Rajaya Sri Govardhana Namine Aseso Kleso Nasaya Paramananda Daine.
Paramananda Dayine.
So actually this prayer itself says that Govardhan actually simultaneously Krishna and simultaneously servant of Krishna and the best servant of Krishna, because Giri Govardhan provides all the necessity for the Brajavasis. So what are the necessities for Brajavasis? Like there are cows, those the cows graze in the Govardhan hill, we know, and they get all kinds of necessary necessities, grass, pure water, and grazing land, anything like pure environment, and all the amorous pastimes of Lord Krishna and Lord Balram are eternally happening in Giri Govardhan. And simultaneously, Giri Govardhan is Krishna himself. So that will be seeing in the pastime. And let me share the screen again. So I am trying to open the Veda base and we are trying to read the Govardhan pastime, the remaining part. So there will be some of the parts will be overlapping. So Sir also told already all the points. But Srila Prabhupada always mentioned that repetition is good in our Krishna consciousness, because in our practice many times we tend to forget, and if we repeat it, then we will have a stronger impression in our mind. That is one point. And another point is that this is Krishna's eternal pastime, and this is never old. And if we hear yesterday, and if we hear again today, it is not that it becomes repetitive or old. It's not like that. In fact, it gives more and more insight, more joy. It is always fresh, ever fresh. So Krishna also ever fresh, ever youth. Similarly, his name, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastime, Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila, all these are actually transcendental and therefore ever fresh. More we hear, actually more we get the nectar. So in the previous days, Sir also told some of the points. I'll just mention, then we'll start reading today's part. So we saw that today's actually one important thing is that today's the Govardhan Puja, and this is very auspicious day. Kartik month itself is a very auspicious month, and specifically today's Govardhan Puja, and that adds up. And today we must actually fully engage in Krishna conscious activities. So we saw that there was a time in Lord Krishna's pastime that in Brajlila there were certain Brahmanas who were attached to the ritualistic ceremonies, and they were worshipping different demigods. And one such worship was the Indra Puja. And why they were attached to Brahmanas were attached to the Indra Puja? Because they thought that Indra is the in charge of rain, and when Indra showers the rain, then all the grazing land will filled with newer grasses, and cows will be grazing, and all the economic development, so that can be done. And in this pastime, we saw that that certain point Nanda Maharaj and all the Brajvasis were preparing for Indra Puja, and there is a gorgeous arrangement for Indra Puja. And by seeing that, Krishna inquired Nanda Maharaj that why you are doing this preparation. And then we saw that Nanda Maharaj explained the same thing, why he is doing Indra Puja, and it is more of a family tradition. And later, Krishna puts forward different argument why Nanda Maharaj should not worship, or Nanda Maharaj don't need to worship Indra. So one of the reason we saw the internal reasons are that Krishna saw that these Brajvasis are 100% surrendered to himself, Krishna, and therefore those who surrender fully to the Supreme Lord Krishna, for them there is no necessity to perform different ritualistic ceremonies. They are not obliged, pure devotees. And second thing is that we saw that Indra was very proud because of his strong material position. He was the king of heaven. So therefore, he had a lot of managerial activities and he could control many things. So he became proud, and Krishna didn't like that attitude. So he wanted to crash down this false pride. So therefore, and we know that Sarah also mentioned that why Krishna was bringing forward the karma mimamsa philosophy, which is kind of a atheistic philosophy. And we saw that it is a little bit intricate that in Brajlila, Krishna is related with all the devotees in a very, very sweet, loving relationship. For example, like Nanda Maharaj and Krishna's relation, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the supreme Lord, proprietor of all the material universes and all the spiritual realm, everything, whatever animate or inanimate, everything. But still here the relation with Nanda Maharaj and Krishna is so sweet, and Nanda Maharaj in that relation is actually superior, elder, and therefore there is some raising hand. Should we? If anyone has any comment or anything concern, you can interrupt me. It's all right to interrupt, and I want to have like more of a interactive session. So we saw this point is a little intricate that Nanda Maharaj actually is in superior position, and therefore Krishna cannot actually will not directly say to Nanda Maharaj that, oh Nanda Maharaj, I am the supreme personality of Godhead and you are always surrendered to me, for you don't need to worship Indra. So this point, then it will be rasabhas, or thing like the loving exchange will be broken, because here the relationship is that Krishna as a loving and a most adorable son of Nanda Maharaj. So that relationship is always like that's a eternal relation, and therefore Krishna has to bring forward certain point which apparently is contradictory. So that's why Krishna brings the karma mimamsa philosophy, and then he convinces Nanda Maharaj, and Krishna speak this philosophy in such a way that it enrage or creates anger within Indra, because Indra is already puffed up, and Krishna speaking such a way that he becomes more and more angry. So we saw these parts. Karma Mimamsa philosophy is basically the philosophy where everything is based on karma. So whatever is happening based on our past karma, and therefore no need to accept any superior authority, and no need to worship any demigod and such superior being. So that is the point, and it will be more clear in today's reading. So if anyone wants to read from here, Krishna further explained to his father. If anyone would like to volunteer for reading, Hare Krishna. I hope the screen is visible so that devotees don't need to open also themselves.
So I will read the first paragraph.
Yeah, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Krishna further explained to his father, this cosmic manifestation is going on under the influence of the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. These three modes are the causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The cloud is caused by the action of the mode of passion. Therefore, it is the mode of passion which causes the rainfall. And after the rainfall, the living entities derive the result, success in agricultural work. What then has Indra to do with this affair? Even if you do not please Indra, what can he do? We do not derive any special benefit from Indra. Even if he is there, he pours water on the ocean also, where there is no need of water. So he is pouring water on the ocean or on the land. He does not depend on our worshipping him. As far as we are concerned, we do not need to go to another city or village or foreign country. There are palatial buildings in the cities, but we are satisfied living in this forest of Vrindavana. Our specific relationship is with Govardhana Hill and Vrindavana forest and nothing more. I therefore request you, my dear father, to begin a sacrifice which will satisfy the local Brahmanas and Govardhana Hill, and let us have nothing to do with Indra. After hearing this statement by Krishna, Nanda Maharaja replied, "My dear boy, since you are asking, I shall arrange for a separate sacrifice for the local Brahmanas and Govardhana Hill. But for the present, let me execute this sacrifice known as Indra Yajna." But Krishna replied, "My dear father, don't delay. The sacrifice you propose for Govardhana and the local Brahmanas will take much time. Better take the arrangement and paraphernalia you have already made for the Indra Yajna and immediately engage them to satisfy Govardhana Hill and the local Brahmanas." Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll have quick discussion. And if anyone has any comment or any point to raise or question, in between also we can do, and later also at the end also we can do. So here we see that Krishna is putting forward that Karma Mimamsa philosophy, and Krishna is putting forward this point that the things are happening in this material world based on three gunas: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we know, like the verse from famous verse from Bhagavad Gita, which says that prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa ahankara vimuratma. So that point also says, Krishna says that everything is happening actually within based on the influence of the three modes of material nature. And specifically for this cloud and rainfall, it is under the mode of passion. And and the point Krishna brings that in the ocean, so there is around three times more area of ocean than the land. About 70% surface of the earth is ocean, and there is always like somewhere rainfall is going on. And Krishna's point is that in the ocean nobody is doing Indra Yogya, and then why there is rainfall then? So Indra is bound to pour rain based on the superior law, superior authority, and based on these three modes of material nature. So and another point Krishna brings that in the city there are palatial buildings, and so for Brajvasis live actually in a very simple forest in Govardhan, Govardhan in Vrindavan forest near Govardhan hill. And for them, they are only like all the necessities are provided by Govardhan hill, and therefore Krishna's suggestion is that everybody should offer their respect and their worship to Govardhan, and that process can be done with the guidance of the Brahmanas. And therefore Krishna proposed that instead of using all the paraphernalia of Indra Puja, that same paraphernalia can be used today for Govardhan Puja. And yeah, and also we saw that Nanda Maharaj was pointing out that okay, if you want Govardhan Puja, that is valid, that Giri Govardhan is providing all the necessities, we should do it. But we can do in the other day with a different preparation. But Krishna's point is that since this process, like worshipping Giri Govardhan, require big quantity of ingredients, and you have, my dear father, you have already arranged that big paraphernalia. So why not you are using it for Govardhan Puja? So anyone would like to read from Maharaj Nanda finally relented.
Yes. Maharaj Nanda finally relented. Sir, Prabhuji, the lines of interchanged.
Now is it okay?
No, I have to read from that Nanda. Now it is clear. Yeah. The cowherd men then inquired from Krishna how he wanted the yajna performed, and Krishna gave them the following directions. Prepare very nice foods of all descriptions from the grain and ghee collected for the yajna. Prepare rice, dal, then halwa, pakora, puri, and all kinds of milk preparations such as sweet rice, rabri, sweet balls, sandesha, rasagulla, and laddu. And invite the learned brahmanas who can chant the Vedic hymns and offer oblations to the fire. The brahmana should be given all kinds of grains in charity. Then decorate all the cows and feed them well. After performing this, give money in charity to the brahmanas. As far as the lower animals are concerned, such as the dogs, and the lower grades of people, such as the chandalas or the fifth class of men, who are considered untouchable, they also may be given sumptuous prasadam. After nice grasses have been given to the cows, the sacrifice known as Govardhana Puja may immediately begin. This sacrifice will very much satisfy me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we can see here very clearly how Krishna like explained how to worship Giri Govardhan and how to satisfy Giriraj as well as Krishna. So both are non-different, and yeah, how to satisfy. And Krishna clearly mentioned that we can prepare different food stuff and then offer it to Krishna, or if we have the Saligram Sila, the rock from actually Govardhan, Srila Prabhupada will be mentioning in the coming paragraphs. So we can offer all these ingredients, all these items nicely cooked, and then that way actually we can satisfy. And then what we need to do, we can feed all the like prasadam to everyone, so without any discrimination. And in terms of charity, when there is Lakshmi, so the Lakshmi should be given to the Brahmanas. So this point Krishna mentions here, and some other places also we will be seeing that the charity actually should be given to Brahmanas, because the Brahmanas or the Vaishnavas, they know where to use the money. Whereas if the money goes to the other people, let's say the Sudra class or the fifth class like Chandala, what they will do, they will use it for sense enjoyment. And this is what actually in the present day society is that the money is with the lower class people, and therefore all the like the nightclub and the liquor shops and slaughterhouses, many more things which are unnecessary in the society, those are actually will be increasing and increasing. And if we see in the Western country, those things are highly prominent, and currently India also is highly influenced and it's increasing. So charity should be given to qualified Brahmanas, not the caste, but who is actually practicing the Brahminical culture, the which is mentioned actually in Bhagavad Gita, Satya, Sama, Dama, Titiksha, Aryava, Brahma Karma. Those are the actually qualifications for Brahmanas. And we know the Vaishnavas are even, they are fully surrendered to Krishna. Sarvadharman Parityaja. So those are the Vaishnavas who try to surrender everything to the for the satisfaction of Krishna. And we see that, but when it comes in terms of prasadam, there should not be any discrimination. So here it is mentioned, it should be given everybody, lower animals like dogs and cat, like all the lower animals, and also the human who are actually in the lower class, like the chandalas, that is the dog eaters. So there is no discrimination, and the discrimination whatever is there, that is for spiritual progress. That discrimination is not to establish that I am great and somebody is lower, or somebody is higher and I am very inferior. Not for that reason, rather it is for spiritual advancement. And we know the reason I just explained. If we don't have that basic discrimination, then if we try to give the charity, the money to the chandalas and those people, so they will immediately use it for alcohol and illicit sex. They will go to the red light area immediately, and then all the four regulative principles they will break. So this is the way Krishna told how to worship Giri Govardhan. Prepare all the nice foodstuffs lovingly and offer it to Krishna. So the next paragraph, we'll try to complete this section and then end. It's little bit only. Anyone would like to read the next one in this statement?
Yes, sir. Can I
Yeah,
read?
Chiranjit, please read.
Uh, in this statement, Lord Krishna practically described the whole economy of the Vaishya community. In all communities in human society, including the Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Chandals, etc., and in animal kingdom, including the cows, dogs, goats, etc., everyone has his part to play. Each is to work in cooperation for the total benefit of all society, which includes not only animal objects but also in inanimate objects like hills and land. The Western community is specifically responsible for economic improvement of the society by producing grain, by giving protection to the cows, by transporting food when needed, and by banking and finance.
One paragraph more.
Uh, from this statement, we learn also that although the cats and dogs, which have now become so important, are not to be neglected, cow protection is actually more important than protection of cats and dogs. Another hint we get from this statement is that the Chandals or the untouchables are also not to be neglected by higher classes and should be given necessary protection. Everyone is important, but some are directly responsible for advancement of human society and some are only indirectly responsible. However, when Krishna consciousness is there, then everyone's total benefit is taken care of.
Thank you, Chiranjit Prabhu. And there are few points here, very nice points. That one is that symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship we have heard also in different portions of Srila Prabhupada's book and from Sar's lecture also. The symbiotic relationship is something that one is dependent on other. The nature, Krishna has created this nature such a way, and also 8.4 million of species, they are not randomly created, and they are created, these bodies basically, these bodies are created in such a way that that actually whole system work cooperatively. For example, like let's say we humans, we take the oxygen and we breathe out the carbon dioxide, and there is plants who are doing the opposite activity. And like there are so many examples or this symbiotic relationship. and this is the way actually the nature actually is being managed. And also similarly in the human society there is also nice classification: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And this is such a way, this Krishna system, that whole system work very perfectly and cooperatively. Brahmana, we see that these are the intellectual people who guide whole society for ultimate advancement, that is the Krishna consciousness. Brahmana or Vaishnavas, they will be leading whole society. And therefore, in traditional way, we know that they are given the most facility and most importance in the society. But over the time, the system has collapsed and corrupted in Kali Yuga. And Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So here, the particular point Vaishyas is mentioned, that for the Vaishyas, the main activities are Krishi, Goroksha, and Vanijya, agriculture, cow protection, and trade. And here, Brajvasis, their main focus is cow protection. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that all the animals are important, but particularly cows are very, very important. Why? Because uh, from cows uh, we get, we derive the maximum benefit. How? First of all, like cow is actually in mode of goodness, and cows give milk, and that pure milk, if human take, then their brain will be very sharp and they can advance in spiritual understanding. At the present moment, like in Kali Yuga, if we discuss the spiritual subject matter, it's very difficult. Everybody is interested for sense gratification. Why? Because the one of the great reason is that diet. So every, like, people are taking so much meat, and nowadays like all kinds of like junk food, and there are so many contamination in the food. And where is their pure milk? So it's not there, and that's why it is very difficult. And in our movement actually, devotees feed a lot of Krishna prasadam, and then slowly the brain, uh, the brain which is like polluted completely, is slowly transformed, and one can understand what the devotees are trying to teach. And I can see like our example also, and it took quite a bit time to understand what the devotees are trying to say. This all philosophies in the beginning appears to be what it doesn't make sense at all, and we can clearly see that why I was not able to understand at all what this philosophy is, and because our diet was like completely impure. And cow protection we talked about, and so everyone is important, and everybody has their own position and place in Krishna's system. So there is a nice point in Isha Upanishad which says that Isha Vasam idam sarvam yatkincha yagatam jagat tena taktena bhunjita magridha kasya siddhanam. So there is a principle of Isha Vasya. So Supreme Lord actually is the proprietor of everything. So Vedic understanding is that, and therefore Vedic society was very, very peaceful. There was no question of anxiety, stress, and unnecessarily encroaching on others' property, others' rightful thing, and therefore there was no anxiety. Everybody was engaged nicely in their occupational duty, and finally, the society heads like the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, they were guiding everyone towards the Krishna consciousness. And in Kali Yuga, everything system is totally collapsed, and all became sentimental caste system. All these thing happened, and we know therefore like our main process is to chant the holy name of Krishna. There is no hope actually, and there is no hope if we see our society from Krishna conscious point of view. If we look our society, there is no hope except practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness, starting with the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that we can clearly see. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next paragraph quickly, and then we will, couple of paragraphs are there. Anyone would like to continue? Hare Krishna. The sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Can I read?
Yeah, Anand Prabhu. Yeah.
The sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja is observed in the Krishna conscious movement. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya has recommended that since Krishna is worshipable, so his land, Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill is also worshipable. To
Little
confirm
louder,
this
please.
statement,
Hare
okay, okay,
Krishna, little louder.
okay. Uh, where I was. Lord Krishna, to confirm this statement, Lord Krishna said that Govardhan Puja is as good as worship of him. From that day, Govardhan Puja has been going on and is known as Annakuta. In all the temples of Vrindavan or outside of Vrindavan, huge quantities of food are prepared in this ceremony and are very sum- sumptuously distributed to the general population. Sometimes the food is thrown to the crowds and they enjoy collecting it off the ground. And from this, we can understand the prasadam offered to Krishna never becomes polluted or contaminated. Even if it is thrown on the ground, the people therefore collect and eat it with great satisfaction. Can I read
Yeah,
further?
yeah, Prabhuji, you can read one more.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, thus advised the cowherd men to stop the Indra Yajna and begin the Govardhan Puja in order to chastise Indra, who was very much puffed up at being the supreme controller of the heavenly planets. The honest and simple cowherd man, headed by Nanda Maharaj, accepted Krishna's proposal and executed in detail everything he advised. They performed Govardhana worship and circumambulation of the hill. Following the inauguration of Govardhan Puja, people in Vrindavan still dress nicely and assemble near Govardhana hill to offer worship and circumambulate the hill, leading their cows all around. According to the instruction of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and the cowherdmen called in learned Brahmanas and began to worship Govardhana hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasadam. The inhabitants of Vrindavan assembled together, decorated their cows and gave them grass. Keeping the cows in front, they began to circumambulate Govardhana hill. The gopis dressed themselves very luxuriantly and sat in bull-driven carts, chanting the glories of Krishna's pastime. The Brahmanas assembled there to act as priests of Govardhana Puja, offered their blessings to the cowherd man and their wives, the gopis. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for reading. Yeah, in this part, it's very much actually explained how like Govardhan Puja is actually being celebrated by the Brajvasis. So Govardhan Puja, we can see that started by Brajvasis, and therefore worshipping Giri Govardhan actually is directly following in the footstep of the Brajvasis, and we are trying to actually practice the Braj Bhakti, and this is one of the thing I can see. And another thing is we see that Krishna himself mentioned here that there is no difference between Giri Govardhan and himself. And in our earlier sessions, we have seen that Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. So four things: Krishna's name, Krishna's transcendental form, and transcendental qualities, guna, and lila, transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So there is no difference among them. For example, like Krishna's name, like Krishna, and Krishna's form as Samasundar, and then Krishna's so many transcendental pastimes which are narrated in Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading actually the summary of 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this itself actually is Krishna himself. So this is Krishna's pastime and Krishna himself. and then finally the Leela. And Giri Govardhan and Krishna are non-different. That is what Krishna directly ensures all the Brajavasis. And in the later part, we have seen that how Krishna started along with all the Brajavasis, the cows, and everybody literally from in Vrindavan, they worshipped Govardhan, offered a lot of quantity of bhoga, and then they circumambulated and then offered different kinds of prayer to Giri Govardhan. And that is the way actually to celebrate Govardhan Puja. And in temples also today we saw there is like so big arrangement of food stuff being offered to Giri Govardhan. So that is the way to worship. So we have the last paragraph we'll be reading and then concluding with the question answers. Anyone would like to take the advantage of reading this last paragraph?
Hare Krishna. When everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavana that he was himself Govardhana hill in order to convince the devotees that Govardhana hill and Krishna himself are identical. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna and Govardhana hill is still honored, and great devotees take rocks from Govardhana hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. The followers of Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhana hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. The form of Krishna who began to eat the offerings was separately constituted, and Krishna himself, along with the other inhabitants of Vrindavana, offered obeisances to the deity as well as Govardhana hill. In offering obeisances to the huge form of Krishna and Govardhana hill, Krishna declared, "Just see how Govardhana hill has assumed his huge form and is favoring us by accepting all the offerings." Krishna also declared at that meeting, "One who neglects the worship of Govardhana Puja as I am personally conducting it will not be happy. There are many snakes on Govardhana hill. The persons neglecting the prescribed duty of Govardhana Puja will be bitten by these snakes and killed. In order to assure the god fortune of the cows and themselves, all people of Vrindavana near Govardhana must worship the hill as prescribed by me." Thus, performing the Govardhana Puja sacrifice, all the inhabitants of Vrindavana followed the instructions of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, and afterwards they returned to their respective homes. Hare Krishna. Thus, okay.
Yeah, you
Thus
can read.
ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 24th chapter of Krishna, worshipping Govardhana hill. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, this is the final paragraph. So we saw that there are many devotees, and in our temples also we have seen like Govardhan Sila and the a small rock from Giri Govardhan, and Giriraj Sila actually and Krishna himself are non-different, and Giriraj Sila is worshipped exactly the same way Radha Krishna deities are being worshipped in the same standard. And Srila Prabhupada here mentions that therefore in our Krishna consciousness movement one can collect small rock or pebble from Govardhan hill and worship at their home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. Of course, here one point to remember that we cannot just go and randomly pick ourselves, because we need always the qualification and guidance from Sadhu Guru Shastra, particularly from our Guru. So, if we want to worship and get the benefit, then we can take our guidance from the spiritual master, and with his guidance or her guidance, we can do the Govardhan worship. And towards the end, we can see that Krishna want actually all everyone should worship Giri Govardhan, and those who will not worship, they will be actually fall in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So repetition of birth and death is going to happen. So that is the point here Krishna is mentioning. So and Krishna mentioned that there are many snakes in the Govardhan, and they will be beaten. So this is the point. And of course, like for devotees, those who worship Krishna, those who worship Giri Govardhan, they at the end of their, like in this life, if they sincerely practice under the guidance of a sadhu, guru, and shastra, then naturally at the end of their life they will remember Krishna, they will remember Giri Govardhan, and they will see themselves in the in near actually Giri Govardhan in Krishna's Leela. So that is the way actually Krishna's pastime is. Janma karma cha me divyam evam evati tattvata tyakta deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. So Krishna mentions that those who understand him as he is and his pastimes, particularly like his birth and appearance, so at the end of their life they will actually return to the back to Godhead. So they will be in actually in Giri Govardhan. Basically they will be seeing themselves. So and also another point to mention here, that we will be seeing that how those who worship Giri Govardhan, how Giri Govardhan gives them shelter, and that's the very great benefit. So when Indra's wrath will be there, so that's a massive massive disaster. But the Brajavasis will have no tinge of distress because of that great calamity. In fact, we will see, like in the next chapter, that Brajavasis will have the most blissful time under the protection of Giri Govardhan. So they will have a tremendous, like, blissful time with Krishna 7 days and night non-stop. So that's the great benefit. So today's Govardhan Puja, we can take shelter of Giri Govardhan. So yeah, with this I'll conclude, and I'll see if there is any quick question or comment. Yeah, Chiranjit Rai Prabhu, how to study in mode of goodness? I find that I cannot complete Prabhupada books after starting it. Initially, I feel very enthusiastic, but later I feel reluctant to even open book. What should I do? So, Prabhuji, this is a general issue because we are under the three modes of material nature, and our past habits will always try to pull us, and there are many ways to actually overcome. Since you are like let's say I know that you are living remotely, not with the devotees, so I'm not saying that take physical association like of the devotees, so that in-person association is not available now, that when you come back to the campus you get it. But at the present moment, there can be like conference calls, like our Zoom platform is there, or your free conference call platform. You can read with the devotees. That is one thing. And second thing is also hearing the regular lectures. Whenever Sir is giving the lecture, I see that you are there all the classes, so that is very nice. And I have seen that those who hear the Krishna Katha, always we have the electronic gadgets, so that could be a blessing, and simultaneously that could be a dangerous thing also. If we load our all the lectures and constantly hear wherever we are, so whatever situation we are in, then actually we'll be always Krishna conscious. Those devotees whose hearing is good, they are always, I have seen that, enthusiastic. Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Next. Prabhuji, what is the meaning that mode of passion brings rain? This point actually I was also reading, and I don't have the perfect answer for it. Maybe we can ask this question to sir tomorrow. But for time being, what I understand is mode of passion means the creation part, the development part, and mode of goodness is the maintenance part. Okay, so we can see that Brahma, who is like secondary creator of the universe, so designing different types of body, and then like the creation, secondary creation part. So here rain also is kind of like, let's say, transformation from water. Let's say the ocean water is transformed to the vapor, and then forming cloud, of course, like under the superior arrangement it is happening. So demigods are in charge of that. With the strength of like sun's strength, the water is being evaporated and then form the cloud, and then clouds are being carried by the in charge of course the wind also. There is in charge of wind is there is another demigod, and then finally that rain will be poured. That decision Indra will take where to give it. Of course, that decision also is not independent. He is dependent on this the karma part. So that super soul actually guides that where to have the rainfall. So this process actually seems to me that it's like like a lot of passion is involved, like transformation from water to steam, like vapor, and vapor to cloud, and then cloud will be carried out, carried to different place and falling. So that is my Prabhuji limited answer. And tomorrow definitely you can ask, or maybe I'll ask sir for more clear understanding. Okay, Hare Krishna. Abhishek Prabhu, is there any more question? Just a moment, Prabhu. At that time, untouchability was there. At that time also, yes, it was there. Untouchability means, like you have to see in different perspective. Untouchability means that it is not that the soul is untouchable. No, it's not like that. Uh, so, for example, like here, Krishna says that feed all those people. So, Krishna asked everyone to feed actually prasadam to everyone. And our Srila Prabhupada's movement also is like that, to feed prasadam to everyone. But for example, like there has to be also discrimination in terms of, like, let's say you want to give donation. Whom you will give the donation? You will give the donation who are qualified, who will use it uh, for preaching Krishna consciousness, preaching Bhagavad Gita, spreading Bhagavad Gita everywhere, and then distributing prasadam, distributing Srila Prabhupada's book, worshipping temple, and basically giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to everywhere. You want to give them. But if you do not discriminate it, you think that everybody is equal. Everybody is equal in the soul, in the level of soul, spiritual level, not in the bodily level. There is a great difference in the bodily level. And in bodily level, if you do not discriminate, and if you give the donation to a people who will engage in fully sense enjoyment criminal activities, then you will also incur the reaction of that. So that way, actually, that untouchability was there. Yeah. Hope this answers, Prabhuji. Is Shaligram Shila is pebble or rock taken from? Yes, correct, Prabhuji. From Giri Govardhan, from Vrindavan. Yeah, correct. So I think that's it. Is there any more question? I don't think there is any more. In the past time of Lord Ram, Indradev served some may say many ways, but in past time of Krishna, even he knew Krishna is the supreme. When Krishna took birth, still Indra they become envy and angry. Yeah, in different times, Lord has a different arrangement. These are of course like again multiple multiple dimensions of this understanding also. So in one sense, actually, Krishna arranges these things to teach us that you and me may have a great material position, and there is a chance that we'll be puffed up, will be very much proud, and will forget to surrender Krishna. For example, Prabhuji, you are asking, maybe you are from IIT itself, and in IIT, like in India, IIT is the topmost institute, and naturally, one will be very, very proud. The job at the end of like graduation is almost guaranteed, and also high packaged job, and of course, multiple like options are open, and naturally, one will be proud for that, and then naturally one will forget to surrender Krishna. See, everything is coming from Krishna. All the energy, whatever like the resources, the oxygen we are taking, the everything, all the resources we are taking from Krishna, and we are forgetting to acknowledge that, and we are becoming puffed up. So that situation, yeah. But yeah, for Indra, different pastime, he is acting differently based on the will of Supreme Lord and based on his uh, free will. Prabhuji, in our day-to-day life, we come in contact with so many meat eater. Prabhuji, how they affect our consciousness, how our devotee should see them. We should be indifferent, Prabhuji. Indifferent meaning. Indifferent means, for example, like let's say those people will talk. Let's say, for example, let's say he is your classmate, or let's say you are doing project. For example, together in a group, you have to associate. Associate means you have to spend time with them. You cannot ignore that. And yeah, at that time, what you will be doing? You will be dealing only the professional, your work related dealings, not too much like gossiping, or not too much like unnecessarily spending time hanging out. We have that term like hangout. So we don't do that. Our hangout is with Krishna consciousness, and with devotees, and we, for us, like we become indifferent when we see them, we talk with them. Indifferent means like for example, like let's say there is one tree is standing, okay, and it's acting in its own, based on its modes of material nature. The tree is in certain modes of material nature. That body has been acquired because of that particular mode of material nature. We don't see very deeply about the tree. We know that it is a spirit soul encaged in a tree body, and we don't actually see more than that. We are very, very indifferent. That term indifferent, like that. So therefore we are not influenced by that. Yeah, Prabhuji, any more question? Abhishek Prabhu, is there any more question? Prabhuji, actually, I also want to ask this. My family is a meat eater, but by the mercy of Krishna, I don't have any desire to eat, but I get angry when they eat in home now, little bit. Oh, okay, okay. So, family member, Prabhuji, I have also personal experience regarding this. I can give some light on it. So, of course, Krishna consciousness is art. Art means it's not that there is the only, this is the way. So whatever I am doing, that will work for you. It might not be, but the principle is like this, that we should, first of all, we should practice ourselves. In this day and age, remember one thing, that Krishna's incarnation is very easy. You see, in earlier days, there was not there was only occasional decline of religion. Okay, not always that everywhere there will be decline in religion. It's not like that. Occasional decline in religion, and Krishna incarnated in different form and perform pastimes. In Kali Yuga, if you see, everywhere there is decline of religion. Now you think about it, this is the time we need Krishna the most. Of course, every time we need Krishna, but in this time, religion is so declined that every moment we require Krishna's guidance and Krishna's protection. Will not Krishna come and will not Krishna incarnate? And therefore, Krishna made this a very easy arrangement, that Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. So in this age, Krishna incarnates in his name. So therefore, when we chant Krishna, if we have very good understanding about it, and if you practice for some time, you will realize that Krishna, when we are chanting Krishna's name, Krishna is actually incarnated already. And if you are sincerely chanting at your home, sooner or later, everybody will become devotee. At least my family also I have seen, and there are many families we are seeing. They take time, little time, and sooner or later they all becomes devotee. But you yourself practice nicely, and Krishna will see that okay, this devotee is really sincere, and Krishna will make arrangement. Hare Krishna. Shaligram is found in Nepal. Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. Shaligram is found in that river. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
yeah. Thank you, Mataji. That's it. So we'll end here. The time is already up. So one question is remaining, so that I will ask to share tomorrow regarding the rainfall, how it is under the mode of basin for clear understanding. Hare Krishna, Bancha Kalpa Toruvasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavasya Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai.